So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, my name is Ricka Galuh and I would like to explain my plan. So, I will share my knowledge about what I'm going to talk in chapter 2. So, I use about woman discrimination. So, my title would be like Woman Discrimination Portray Enhanced Berries Are Racing in the Sun and Heels Hurt in the Ground. So this is both is drama, both are drama. So first, in this opportunity, I would like to talk about previous studies, research questions or problem of study, and the last is theories. So first is previous study. So the previous study that was done by other scholars that were made around 10 last year. So I would like to categorize them into two. There is a theory and there is an object. So first, there's about a lot of people, but I synthesize this. So it become this the theory. So this is about feminism. So I'm gonna synthesize and I'm gonna make a kesimpulan. So they describe the fight against prejudice or discrimination conducted by the female characters who demand its elimination. Women may be different and follow their heart according to the new stereotype of women, because some of the researchers talk about the new image or like her the woman's fight against men, something like that. And the next is previous studies about the object. So there's like Balasundari, Alakil, Saraswati that state about racism to black people and women's effort to get out of the zone where they are discriminated against by society. The reasons Benetta, that's I can say that's the main characters in A Raisin in the Sun. So the reason Benita has separate feminism ideals toward other black women and the fact that she is a new woman who oppose tradition are what make her a new woman in the first place. So basically, she's the first woman in that time, that young woman who fight patriarchy, something like that. So there is this question. So my thesis will be discussed about two problems. First is how is woman discrimination portrayed in Hans Berry, A Racing in the Sands, and Heels Hurt in the Ground. And the second is what are the differences of discrimination portrayed between both of the drama. Next, we're going to talk about theories. So first, this is a feminism. So feminist theory, which first focused on politics of women's authorship and the portrayal of women in literature, has lately started to look at the concept of gender and sexuality in a variety of fields such as cinema, studies, geography, and even economy. So the term feminism is commonly known or referred to the movement for gender equality for women. So women didn't ask to become a better version or become the first place, so man will be in the second place or something like that. No, women in feminism did not want to discriminate or oppression of men, so they just want to equal. So according to feminists, as mine how literary works challenge or serve as an example of patriarchal ideal that is the key of the problem. So feminist theory question about the role of gender in creation, interpretation, and dissemination of literary text by combining elements from other theoretical models like psychoanalysis, Marxist, post-structural, and deconstruction. So, feminist theory, which first focused on the politics of women's authorship, is talk about the fight for women's rights. That's the important point, which began in the 18th centuries that start with Mary Wollstonecraft's publication that entitled A Vindication of the Right of Woman. So that gave rise to feminist thought. Next, I'm gonna talk more detailed. That is, I'm gonna use liberal feminism. So liberal feminism is the ability to vote, to own property and other assets, borrow money, inherit money, keep money, earn money, and start a divorce, keep custody of children, attend college, become a licensed physician, present evidence in court, and serve on a jury are among the rights that were once turned down to women from every social class, racial classification, ethnicity, and religion. So, liberal feminists also consider how one's personal life affects or advances social equality. The well-educated, unrestricted, and independent self. Liberal feminists believe that because of this gender discrimination, women are excluded in the process of modernization, therefore losing their status. So liberal feminists did not agree about this discrimination because one of the feminists, Lily Wollstonecraft, reject the idea that women are more naturally giver and pleasure seeker than males. She argued that placing men in the same confines as women will lead to the development of feminine traits in them as well. So men would have become overly emotional, but that some of society uh, did want that. So they just want that woman is the one that has to be the most emotional creature. So liberal feminists believe that because of the gender discrimination, one of the feminists, Rosemary Tong, state that because society holds the false belief that women are by nature less intellectually or physically capable than men, it excluded women from the academy, the forum, and the marketplace. So gender bias is pervasive in the development. It is always assumed that women's workplace is in the home and their work is the unpaid reproductive work like childcare and the horse chores or something like that. So liberal feminists agree or want that giving women the same chances as men in a capitalist society is the best way to address gender discrimination. There's nothing more women ask other than equality. So in this discrimination, there's like a five activity that kind of in discrimination. So the first is marginalization. Marginalization. So marginalization is a process of preventing marginalized party of the right that they are entitled to, which causes poverty to exist in communities in developing nations and to only impact one gender. So women are marginalized because they are portrayed as being weak and not courageous, not confident, become a coward, which makes them unfit. So the society thinks that woman is not capable for leadership position. That's why in Indonesia there's only one woman president at that time. So like in society or like take it like a smaller example in a school. If the teacher or the class choose the class captain or the head of the class, it will be man. So I think that's why a woman did not want to become leader because they are afraid because society didn't give them a change to prove them because they thought that woman is weak, coward. So the woman did not fit to become a leader, something like that. The next is violence. So violence is not only physically but also mentally. So like abuse, something like that. So gender-related violence is related to power base. So is defined as violence motivated by gender stereotype. So one of uh, the reason that that is violent is gender stereotype. So this type of violence can happen between women and girls, or like mom and their daughter, or like some older woman to a young one, something like that, or even between woman and man. So due their weak position in society's economic, social, political, women become more susceptible. So women are typically viewed as holding a lower position than males. So women are frequently the target of violence because society thought that woman is the lower position than men's. So that unconsciously makes men become more patriarchy and like I can hit you, I can do anything I want to you, something like that. So because of that, women are frequently the target of violence, physically, psychologically. So violence can also happen in family, community, and in a state. Which, for example, like there is some country that has a law that women cannot go to work or get a job if their husband didn't agree with that. So if her husband didn't like the idea of his wife getting a job, then the wife can be in jail. So that's how weak in woman position in the state or something like that. Next, there is a subordination. So in order to make women in their action appears less significant and capable than males, subordination is a judgment or assumption that places women after men. Men and women play different responsibility in the family due to biological distinction as well as socio-cultural aspect of the family environment. So women are undervalued so that they are not given the authority to make significant choices, especially those that affect their own life. For example, how women lose her name after getting married. So that's because of subordination, the judgment or assumption that woman is below man. So woman cannot make how do you call it? Cannot make the rules in the household. Cannot make the statement that all of the children, the child or the husband have to follow. No, husband is the one that has to roll around in this household. So women cannot make significant choices. For example, uh, if I get married and I want to study in a higher in a higher grade degree. So I want to search another degree. But my husband didn't agree with that. But why? Because that's my choice. I'm the one who gonna do it. I'm the one who gonna study. I'm the one gonna fight for it. But woman cannot do anything because yeah, society thought that woman is below man. So that's kind of sad because women didn't ask for anything. Women just asked for equality. So the fourth is the stereotype. So the stereotype is the act of putting that stereotypical belief onto a person is known as gender stereotyping. So women who are treated differently due to of stereotype expectation, attitudes or behavior are said to be discriminating against them. So for the example, how women should behave in home, which frequently lead to a division of labor that will leave women with insufficient time and lower levels of education. So gender stereotype lead to one or another abuse, while like freedoms and human rights they are unacceptable if stereotype that happen in society. So an illustration of this is the fact that marital rape is not criminalized, despite the notion that women are the sexual property of men. So yeah, society think about women, or for example, like the stereotype in society. I have asked my friends in high school. So, what do you think about women? And some of them say that woman is sexual property in a halal way after marriage or something like that. So they just want to get married because of yeah, I want to do that. So and woman is beautiful. So I make them choose a woman who physically is like a so-so, but is like there's alpha girls or something like they're independent, they have a job, they can do anything on her own, they smart, or a woman who is beautiful, but yeah, she's dependent and she's like a university. She did not need that. So she's not have a clear educational background, but she's beautiful. So which one they choose? So yeah, they choose this woman who is beautiful but not but not have social skills and educated skill for something like that. So that's what that, because they thought like let me speak in bahasa. Kalau pendidikan anakku bisa anak saya bisa saya leskan, bisa saya kuliahkan gitu. Tapi untuk keturunan tidak bisa dirubah. They thought like that. So that's why woman woman stereotype is negative in society. The last is double work. It's so so women have a double workload, specifically a greater task related to their dual roles in their house and in the workplace.